Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother Canada 8 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Brian Van Veen. Brian, thank you so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we really do appreciate it. So thank you again so much. And if you guys want to be house guest of the day like Brian, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. I know that this look is a lot right now, but this house is running me ragged, and I do not care. Okay, so when we left off yesterday, the house guests were waiting for the power veto competition. And just as a reminder, Maddie and Rianne are up on the block. And Rianne is Sheldon's target this week because who knows? He says he feels like if Rianne were to win HOH, that she would put up Brooke and Sheldon. But I feel like that's not necessarily true, or that's something that he could make a deal with her about and take out somebody else. I don't know, but that's just what I think. So it seemed like a pretty straightforward week, get rid of Rianne, whatever. But things are about to get messy. They picked players for the power veto competition. We've got 10 people playing instead of 5. So it's 5 teams of 2. And it seems like the situation is, okay, they picked the 5 players, and then those players then got to choose a partner to play with them. And it seems like they did get to choose and it wasn't random, because I'm going to go through the pairings again and you'll see it looks like they picked who they wanted. And I'm pretty sure that the original person that was picked to play will be the one in control of the veto if they were to win, but the other person in the duo will also be safe. So that's fun. Okay, so the players. We've got Maddie and John Luke working together, Rianne and Hira, Min Lee and Vanessa, Brooke and Suzanne, and Chris and Kyle. Okay, so we still got some action to get through before we get to the power veto competition, and I'm telling you, it is some action. So Min Lee, Hira, and Carol were chatting in the storage room, and Min says, guess what, guys? Brooke went up to Vanessa and told her to throw the power veto competition because she doesn't know what I would do with the veto if I won. So honestly, I'm not sure which parts of this statement are true, if any. Did Brooke really say that to Vanessa? Did Min Lee make the whole thing up? Did Vanessa make the whole thing up? What is this? Is it all true? What's going on here? It's hard to say. But Carol's reaction upon hearing this information was, what? So she agrees she's not going to tell anyone. Okay. After this conversation, Carol goes up to the HOH room where Sheldon and Brooke, I feel like, have been having a nonstop conversation since Thursday night. And Carol immediately relays this information. She's like, so just to let you know, Min told me that Brooke told Vanessa to throw the power veto competition. So Brooke says that did not happen. And she's like, can I call Min out on this? What's going on here? She's completely fabricating this story. And Carol says, no, don't do that, because then I'll be exposed. And that would really suck for me. And I won't be able to get information from her to bring to you anymore. So Carol is asking, is Min a possible backdoor plan this week? Because if she is, I'd be okay with it. And Sheldon says, in a roundabout way, because he doesn't want to name names at this point, he basically says, yeah, that's a possibility. What? So after Carol leaves, Sheldon and Brooke talk more about Min, and Sheldon says he's really nervous that Maddie could win this power veto, because that would really become an ugly situation. I mean, it's one thing if Rianne, the target, wins the veto, and he puts up a new target, and that person goes, but it's a little bit different if Maddie wins and pulls herself down, because Sheldon is having a really hard time figuring out who he would potentially put up next to Rianne. And he can't decide if Rianne should still be the target or if he should take out somebody else. So it would be a little bit not as clear if Maddie were to win the power veto as opposed to Rianne. So he says, if Min does end up going up, she's going to have to go. I can't just put her up as a pawn and keep her around. It's not going to work. So he's saying, if I do have to do that, I could spin it and make it seem like it's a favor to the whole house. Wow. Okay, so Brooke, she would like to see Min and Jamar out before jury, but she also really wants Rianne to go this week. I don't know what the hell it is exactly, but Brooke is super intimidated game-wise by Rianne. I don't understand. Like, I thought these two would want to be all, like, girl power together, but it's just not happening. But Brooke says she's worried that Rianne will go deep into the game if she stays. It's like a now or never thing. I think that's a little extreme. But a little later, Hira also stops by the HOH room to report the Min info to Brooke and Sheldon. And again, Brooke says, that's bullshit. I did not say that to Vanessa. I don't know. She might have. I don't know. So Brooke says, I really want to confront Min right now, but I'm not going to blow this whole thing up. So I'm going to take this energy and use it to fuel a win in the power veto competition. So then right around 6 o'clock, Kyle pulls Brooke aside to talk. And he says, Brooke, this is serious. This has to stay between us. He says, Min Lee has to go. She got to Vanessa. So he says, all right, Vanessa told Min that you told her to throw the competition. Now, this is not new information, but I feel like Kyle is presenting this in a different way, because now he's implying that Vanessa really did say this to Min Lee. So now Vanessa's kind of in trouble with her own alliance here. Before, it seemed more like Brooke was just assuming that Min made the whole entire thing up. But now Kyle is like, I think Vanessa told her that. So Kyle says Vanessa has been kind of mad at Brooke that she doesn't talk to her enough, and this is her being petty about that situation. So Brooke says, yeah, you know, Carol, Hira, and John Luke all already came to me about this rumor. So it's really spreading around quickly. They're really disappointed that Min was able to get to Vanessa, because again, now they seem to be assuming that Vanessa really did say this to her. So Brooke is like, wait a second, wait. Are you sure that Min didn't just make this up? Because I never said that to Vanessa, and I just don't know why she would say that to Min. So Kyle says, okay, Brooke, you might not have said that directly to Vanessa, but during one of the KVBS meetings, Kyle, Vanessa, Brooke, and Sheldon, they were talking about different scenarios and like different situations where it would be good for certain people to throw competitions. And he's thinking that Vanessa was taking that as Brooke telling her to throw this power veto competition. Which just seems crazy, right? Because who would have even predicted that there would be 10 people playing and that Vanessa would be paired up with Min? Because this conversation would have happened before all of that was decided, so I don't know. But Kyle and Brooke discuss this situation with Sheldon in the HOH room, and they now seem to think that Vanessa did say this to Min Lee. Sheldon shares a conversation that he had with Vanessa a little bit earlier. Now, he already knew about this rumor before Kyle started talking to them about it. So Sheldon tried to feel Vanessa out a little bit in the storage room, and he's telling them about this conversation, and he says, it seemed like she thought Brooke did tell her to throw the competition. She was being really shady when I was asking her questions, so she might be trying to screw us over. I don't know. But Kyle says, Vanessa's done. We can't trust her anymore. Damn! You're not even going to ask her first? So Kyle says Vanessa's out. John Luke's in. Whoa! So Sheldon's like, whoa. Let's slow down here. We can't just do that. Vanessa would blow us up. And then what are we supposed to do? So Kyle and Sheldon agree, if either nominee comes down this week, Min will be going. She's got to go up and out because they can't deal with this anymore. So then they decide, all right, we're going to bring Vanessa in here and we're going to question her and see what she has to say about all this. It's logical. So Sheldon brings Vanessa to the HOH room to talk with Brooke and Kyle. And Kyle presents the rumor. He says, we're hearing that Min is saying that Brooke told you to throw the competition because she didn't want Min to have the power veto. So Vanessa's like, oh yeah, I heard about that as well. Oh, did you? So Vanessa starts to explain that Min saw them all go in there to chat at some point and asked her about it. And then Vanessa cuts herself off with some nervous laughter, which was not a good look. And then it almost seemed like she was trying to think of what she was going to say, like what kind of lie she could come up with. So then she says, Min's hard to deal with. I can't force you guys to believe anything. That's not a good answer / explanation. It's just really not looking good for her at that point. So Kyle says, I feel like this doesn't need to be said, but I will say it. Any conversation that we have as a team needs to stay just with the team. We can't be telling other people about it. So Sheldon then takes over and he's saying to Vanessa, you're not being grilled. She is. What did Min hear from you? Like, what did you tell her? We need to know exactly what you told her so we can determine what's going on here. So Vanessa's like, well, I didn't tell Min anything like that, and Brooke never told me to throw the competition, so it's not making sense to me. And Vanessa also says, I feel really intimidated right now, and you could tell she felt really uncomfortable in this situation. I don't know if it's because she was lying, or if it's just because she doesn't do well with confrontation, and they were definitely all like, bleh. So Vanessa does end up admitting, well, I did tell Min that maybe it wouldn't be smart for us to win the power of veto since we're already in a good spot this week, so why rock the boat? And she's saying maybe that pissed Min off because she doesn't want to be told, like, oh, you shouldn't win this competition. So Kyle is telling Vanessa, you really need to tread lightly with Min. And he also kept saying, like, I told you when you started hanging out with her that she was going to try and stir shit up, but you knew better. So Vanessa's then asking them, who came to you guys and told you this rumor? And they lie. They say John Luke, which was true. John Luke was one of the ones that talked to them about it. But they also said Chris and Kyle. So they're protecting Carol and Hira in this situation, which is interesting. So then Sheldon kind of switches gears here and he says, I kind of feel like this situation is indirectly kind of my fault because I know I haven't talked as much with Vanessa as I could have been. And I want you to, like, feel free to say anything, tell me anything you're thinking. And Vanessa says, you know what? I will admit, we talked about this in an earlier meeting. I'm not really down with throwing a competition. That's not something I want to do. It's not something that I feel comfortable with. So they're like, okay, thank you for telling us that. So they all agree that they're going to talk more and have better communication. And they're all declaring their love for each other. Do they really trust each other, though, at this point? The answer is no. From later conversations, we see that Brooke, Sheldon, and Kyle are still kind of like, meh, about Vanessa. They're not 100% trusting her anymore, but we'll see what happens. So then they're trying to figure out, what do we tell Min Lee at this point? So they advise Vanessa, you should just hang out with us a little bit more. I mean, not all four together at once, but, each of us whenever. So that you're not finding yourself alone as much with Min. So then Kyle calls Min Lee candy-coated poison. Ouch! Okay. So then the feeds go down for the Power Veto competition, and it doesn't seem like it had to do with the whole arrivals departures board in the Expedia Lounge. It sounds like they had to, move balls around with not their hands, and it sounds like they were, passing them from mouth to mouth. Coronavirus? Okay, so anyway, the feeds were down for 4 hours, and Maddie and John Luke were the big winners. Whoa! So, obviously, Maddie's going to use the veto on herself. John Luke is not going to be available to be a replacement nominee, which I don't think he was in danger of that anyway. He seems to be really working himself into the rest of the house now that Michael's gone. So the question now, will Min become the new target, or will it still be Rianne? Or will a new target emerge? So Brooke and Sheldon are in the HOH room. Again, I feel like they're just always up there together, and they should probably, everybody knows that they're working together, but I feel like they could, chill out a little bit with that because it is a lot. So, yeah, they're in the HOH room trying to figure out what they're going to do. And they're wondering, would we even have the votes to take out Rianne this week? What? I mean, they're going through everybody, and they're like, you know what? We're the only ones who are, like, terrified of her at this point. She's got a lot of friends that she's working on. So they're like, I don't know if anybody that we put up would be safe against Rianne. So, I mean, anybody that they would want to put up. I mean, they're not going to put up their actual allies. So Brooke is scared that Rianne's going to be able to put together an alliance that will be a formidable opponent for them. And she's saying, again, if we can't take her out now, we can't do it ever. Again, that's a little bit dramatic, and I don't think that's the case, but okay. So Sheldon says that, you know, if you think about it, Maddie and Rianne, if they get HOH, they're probably still going to want to go after Chris, Kyle, and Vanessa before they go after us. So, like, we probably would be okay with them for now, especially if Sheldon were to put up Min this week and angle it and be like, you know what, Rianne, I'm going to cut you a break here. I'm going to put up Min so that you can stay and kind of make a deal with her. So it seems like they're moving towards taking out Min Lee. Then Kyle joins them and chats with them for a while, and he is pushing for Min Lee to be the replacement nominee and to keep Rianne this week. So eventually they seem to decide, yeah, Min should go. So Vanessa joins them, they let her know, and Sheldon says, all right, we're gonna get rid of Min Lee this week, but I'm not gonna tell her yet. He is gonna tell her before the power veto ceremony, but he's gonna let her sweat it out a little bit, let her go a little crazy. And then he says he's gonna go crazy on her. He's planning on telling her, like, no one else is gonna give a shit about her leaving. Damn, that's kind of mean. I don't know if I like that. But anyway, Kyle then talks alone with Vanessa, and this is interesting. Kyle shares that he talked to Rianne after the Power Veto competition. He says, she cried in my arms. And Kyle says he told Rianne that she's not going home this week. Min will be going up and out. He's spewing some info here. And he says, you know, I spent a lot of time selling Brooke and Sheldon on Rianne staying this week and telling them that we can use her moving forward. But Kyle says, Rianne can help me and you, not the four of us. So he says if Rianne wins HOH, she'll put up Brooke and Sheldon, not me and you. Ooh, so you got Sheldon kind of trying to snake Kyle here, and you've got Kyle trying to snake Sheldon and Brooke. Whoa. All right, so a little later, Min Lee and Sheldon were chatting, and Min is trying to get info on who Sheldon's going to put up on the block. And Sheldon is doing that thing when you answer all questions with questions. She'll be like, oh, are you thinking about making a big move? And he'll be like, do you think I should be thinking about making a big move? Like, oh my God, it's freaking her out. And Sheldon is saying that he's going to wait until tomorrow to think about it. And Min Lee's just like, she asks him, she's like, okay, you told me when we talked before that you were not going to put me up this week. Is that still the case? And Sheldon's answer is just like, I meant it when I said it. Which could be taken a few different ways. It could be, I meant it when I said it, and that's it. Or it could mean, I meant it when I said it, and now I don't. So, he is leaving that door open for her to start spiraling. So then today, John Luke was giving Rianne some guidance on what she should say to Sheldon. So he's like, oh, yeah, just, you know, tell him that you wouldn't put him up if you went HOH, because he's nervous about that. And if he does ask you who you would target, maybe throw Chris's name out there. He should be okay with that. And he's telling her, work on your relationship with Brooke, because obviously Sheldon and Brooke are very close. And at this point, word has gotten around to the others, I mean, like, to this side, Rianne and John Luke and all them, that Min is probably going up on the block. So, they're feeling pretty good about it. So then Rianne goes and talks to Sheldon in the HOH room, and she lets him know, I'm not coming after you, I want to work with you, not against you. And I mean, she's really kissing his ass here. She could mean it, maybe not, but she is really working it. So she says, I don't take the nomination personally. You know, I feel like a lot of people probably would have done the same thing in your position. And Sheldon says, I'm so happy to hear that you're not, you know, bitter about this or anything or taking it personally. So he says, I can put somebody up on the block next to you who will definitely go home over you. You know, I can do that. So they talk about Min going up because, like, everybody knows she's going to be the one. So Sheldon says, yeah, she's been spreading lies. She's got to go. So then Rhiannon has a similar conversation with Brooke, trying to smooth things over and say, like, I'm not coming after you. Like, let's work together. And Brooke seems receptive to it for now. So meanwhile, Sheldon's going around telling everyone, including Jamar, his plan for the renom. And he plans to tell Min Lee last. He hasn't told her yet. But everyone seems to be cool with it. Jamar has not told Min Lee yet. I mean, that's not his first choice for a replacement nominee, but he's also not like, no, don't do that. So, yeah, the power veto ceremony is going to be tomorrow, I'm assuming. That's when it usually is. It's looking like it's going to be a crazy week, because you know that Min is not going to go down without a fight. I'm tired just thinking about it. So, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments, and until next time, much love.